Okay, so since Gladiator 2 came out, we're going to watch the first Gladiator.
Yeah.
So it was directed by Ridley Scott. A former Roman general sets out to exact vengeance against the corrupt emperor who murdered his family and sent him into slavery. So this is one of the movies you wanted to see that people have recommended to you, correct?
Yes, but only because they saw that there was a second Gladiator, and that's why they're like, you need to see the first one.
Yeah.
Right.
So what did you think overall?
It's more emotional than I thought.
Yeah.
Cause like you're talking about like a soldier, I thought it would just be fighting. And really like the story like focus on him and his like experience, his life changes, and he has good motivation and all that. And I think the story was pretty clear. It's easy to understand where like his anger and his motivation is coming from. I mean, I like the fighting scene.
Yeah, well, Ridley Scott, this is like what he's known for, like these epic kind of like sword and sandals, or maybe it's the Crusades or something like Kingdom of Heaven. Like we watched Napoleon.
Yes, we did.
That's Ridley Scott. He's the guy you want to watch for these type of movies, really, because you never really saw of that size in movies really before Gladiator. I mean, a year after this was like Lord of the Rings, where they did that too.
Yeah.
And this is like the beginning of CGI, like good CGI. But yeah, I didn't really care for Gladiator when it first came out. I mean, it's like Titanic. It just felt like overhyped. People were just all about it. Someone I used to work with back in the day asked if I liked it. I'm like, I didn't care for it. And they told me, that's un-American. I'm like, how's it un-American if it takes place in ancient Rome?
The thing is, from what I heard, people love it. But what I saw, I like it.
Yeah.
It's not like, I wouldn't say, wow, that is such an amazing movie that you will regret your whole life if you never see it. Okay. But I like the story. Like it's got a lot of like elements that I enjoy, and it's like very emotional, and it has its depth, and I think can connect to you emotionally.
Yeah.
So that's.
Yeah, I think I didn't really care for it because it was just very simple plot, which isn't
simple. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not like, to me right now, currently is not a like detractor from it. It's just if it's well made enough, I don't really care how simple the plot is. Film is a visual medium. It's not like a book you're reading. It's like, well, this is boring. But I found it, I with age, with how differently I see movies, I think I like it a lot better.
Okay.
But I don't like love it, if that makes sense.
Yeah. That's how I feel too.
It's like the ultimate dad movie. Like you have your dad who's sitting down watching TNT on a Saturday afternoon. He's probably watching Gladiator. That's what it's just like a lot of fighting, him exacting revenge, it's sword and sandals fighting. Then this is a movie like back in the 50s and 60s, like westerns and sword and sandals movies like Spartacus were like really popular.
Okay.
And this is like a return to that. So it stars Russell Crowe. What do you think of Russell Crowe as Maximus?
Oh, I like him. For some reason, I feel like he was that character. I don't know if it's his look or his acting, his performance. I feel like he is pretty on point to express, those emotions, but not in a very dramatic way. He is a soldier, and he has those feelings, but it's tuned down as a man.
It's a very kind of, well, before he goes, are you not all entertained? And it's a very subdued. He's got that kind of look to him in his eyes, how sort of not passive, stoic he is, and I think it's like hard to top him, especially when it like comes to a sequel, like the main character in the sequel, which we'll talk about later. But I think he's part of the reason it's such a popular film too. And you said it was like more emotional too. Like apparently the script wasn't even finished when they started shooting this.
Okay.
So a lot of it's like ad-libbed, and they added like a lot of the scenes with him, praying to this altar with his little figures of his wife and son.
Yeah.
I think that adds a lot to it. Like,
definitely.
It's not just like, oh, I'm gonna kill everyone, to kill my family. It's like I think that, you know, like you said, is more emotional, and that adds a lot to the story. And I think he Russell Crowe like really portrays that, like, because he's not like a bloodthirsty maniac,
right? Because like nothing make you feel better than a tough ass soldier on revenge path that has feelings. Okay, that's like sensitive and has its own like soft spot, and you know that you can like empathize. Like I think that really, or at least as a girl, I feel like that, you know, that's attractive, right? and they also talked about like freedom when he was like pretty much a slave, right? Forced to fight, and he has his other friends, and they talked about family. They talked about freedom.
Yeah. Okay, Joaquin Phoenix. I know you're a fan of Joaquin Phoenix because of Joker, but what do you think? This is like one of his early roles. I think before this, he was a child actor, and then his brother died, and he took a break from acting, and then he came back
as Joker. No, I'm kidding.
I think it's To Kill For with Nicole Kidman. He was kind of like played a high schooler in that, and then later on, I think U-Turn was also a movie he was in, but then this is one of his breakout roles as the antagonist in Gladiator. But what did you think of Joaquin Phoenix in this? Like this is like 20 years younger Joaquin Phoenix than Joker.
Okay. I don't know if I'm biased. I probably am.
Of course you are.
Yes, I am. But I liked him. I liked him a lot in this role. I mean, at first I feel like, you know, it's kind of hard to see Joker. It's just like it's something that's already like so deeply rooted in your head, and you kind of feel like, oh, how do I see Joker as you know, the King of Rome or something? I think one thing that I really like him in this role, that he really doesn't give out any Joker vibe. But I think, like I said, I feel like in this movie in general, when men express feelings, it's very subtle, and including him, right? And he's been through stuff like his father disapprove him, and you know, his love for his sister that was denied. Watch House of Dragons. I think we can discuss it. And you know, and the betrayal at the end, and he's been through this stuff, but like the way he expressed these feelings, he still have like to me his acting was powerful.
I think he's a great antagonist. He's got that look and especially for an emperor, he's pretty subdued as well. Like you could tell he's off.
Yeah, like I feel like he is really great at like portraying someone who is like not mentally healthy. Like right?
He shouldn't be a leader, and
he's really good.
Kind of like a spoiled emperor. I mean, he's got the look to it too.
He does.
All right, I'll just go into some trivia. Like I said before, the script was unfinished, so they had to ad-lib a lot of stuff. So there's like this moment where Maximus, you know, Russell Crowe is supposed to look at this branch with a bird on it. He's like, he asked the director, Ridley Scott, what am I supposed to say? He's like, I don't know, say something about some snow or something. And then he's like, okay. And then he's like looking at the bird. It's like, what the fuck do I say?
He goes, I'm just going to shoot you, contemplating. I want you to look over to your right, and I want you to see a small bird in the tree. Perhaps it'll make you smile. The bird takes off, the bird will fly away, and I want you to watch its flight, and its flight brings you back to the battlefield and what's actually in front of you. So I do that, and I'm pretty sure I did every single thing he asked, and I put little strokes of color on certain things, and then I brought the attention back to the battlefield, and he just came up to me and goes, you and me are going to be fucking great together, mate.
Like, a lot of it was just like made up on the fly. Like the stuff with there was a certain writer, I didn't write the name down, but he added to the script like stuff like, you know, him wanting to go to Elysium, to the afterlife with his family. Like that's what he's wanting, instead of just strictly revenge. And that's why they put all those scenes with the little wooden character, burying him and stuff. And I think that adds a lot to the movie rather than just you know, bloodthirsty revenge. But it's so strange that the script wasn't finished and this won like Best Picture Oscar at the Academy Awards. I guess Russell Crowe got really fucked up during the making of this too. Like he had to have shoulder surgery. He still has like aches and pains like in his knees and his back.
Due to the movie?
Due to making this movie. Like that's how physically taxing it was for him.
It's crazy. I feel him. My shoulder. I feel him.
You know, the original owner of Maximus, the guy that said he used to be a slave too. Like the master? Yeah. His name is Oliver Reed, and the actor is a horrible alcoholic, okay? And he promised Ridley Scott that he wasn't going to drink during the shooting of this movie.
okay.
I don't know if you noticed, but he died during the making of this movie.
How would I notice that?
Because apparently when the soldiers come to kill the Russell Crowe character, and you know how he lets out all the gladiators and they fight and everything, he's in that scene, but that's not really him. They superimposed his face, CGI. Okay, so this is how he died. Okay, this is kind of amazing. That he went to this bar and there's like 5 sailors there, okay? They're all young sailors, and apparently he challenged them all to arm wrestling contests.
What the?
He got fucking trashed just drinking, and he beat all these guys in arm wrestling.
Really?
Yeah, and then he laid down on the floor on a rug and just died from a heart attack.
Oh, wow, that is epic.
I know.
Epic. Okay, that's how I want to
He's
die
like,
now.
I'm tired, and he like laid down and just died.
Oh, wow. That is, I mean, obviously it's still tragic, but like that, I would like to die that way.
It's pretty impressive, just beating all
Arm
those
wrestling,
fucking guys.
yeah.
An old dude, drunk, you know?
I know people who like got their arm like literally like the bone broke
Yeah.
during arm wrestling.
Are you thinking of The Fly?
No. Coworker.
Really?
Yeah, like I have a coworker who showed us a video of him arm wrestling and his like arm just broke.
Was he?
Can't hear
was
it.
he arm wrestling Jeff Goldblum from The Fly? Guy who went through the Fly DNA.
That's so funny.
All right, and then this movie made a lot of money, and of course they've been trying to make a Gladiator 2 for years. Okay. And Russell Crowe, he's a musician too, and he had his musician friend who only wrote like one screenplay before, Nick Cave. And you know, Red Right Hand, you know the song. Anyway, he had him write a script. He's like, didn't your character die at the end of it?
Yeah.
He's like, you figure it out. That's what Russell Crowe said. So he wrote this script, and this is the synopsis to the script, okay? Like, basically the overview is that he goes to Elysium, but the gods tell him that he needs to go back because there's this new god that everyone's following, and he needs to kill him. This new god is Jesus Christ.
Okay.
It's a more popular god, you know, and then he has to kill him so he doesn't have all his followers, you know. Well, he gets sit down to kill him, but he finds out that Jesus and his followers are not actually bad people, so he doesn't kill them. But yeah, in the Bible, Jesus is killed by Roman soldiers, okay, in the Bible. So he's damned to eternity as an eternal warrior. So basically, I guess like towards the end of it, that he's like, it shows him during the Crusades and during World War II, and then it finally shows him at the Pentagon in the U.S.
He's a ghost soldier?
Yeah, he's just an eternal soldier. He's like, it's basically he's in purgatory.
Yeah.
Like immortal. He can never see his family again. And Nick Cave wanted to call it Gladiator Christ Killer. And he showed Russell Crowe this, and basically what Russell Crowe says, like, it's not good, mate. So
The Christ Killer, I cannot imagine that, yeah.
So your overall thoughts and your score for Gladiator.
Overall, so this is just a beautiful movie to watch, right? The action scene was great. The story was, you know, easy to understand, easy to follow. The weight of the emotions were just perfectly received for me. So I like this movie. I'm gonna give a high 3.5, I think.
High 3.5. Okay. Yeah, I'll go 4. I mean, it's just because of how well made it is. I mean, people will probably give this like a 4.5 out or 5 or something.
Really?
That's how much people like it, and I kind of get it. But yeah, I mean, I didn't absolutely love it, but I do appreciate, like, especially considering it's like early CGI. Nothing really stood out to me as CGI.
Yeah.
I think they used like actual in it.
Okay.
Like there's parts where Russell Crowe almost got attacked by the
Oh yeah,
by
is
the
that why
tiger.
he need the
Yeah,
surgery?
probably need more surgery if that happened. But yeah, it's a memorable movie. It's well made, and performances are really good, and especially the badass, knowing about Oliver Reed and his badass death. Like, yeah, and then this is where, you know, Ridley Scott, his bread and butter is right now. He you know, if it's if it's a Ridley Scott like historical movie, I'll probably go see it. I mean, it's enjoyable enough. But...
Damn, I want to change my rating now. Too late.
Go ahead. It's not too late. I'll edit it. Go.
No, never mind.
What would it be? What would it be?
It would be like a 4 out of 5. I think it's not specifically my type of like genre that I personally would prefer. So this is definitely subjective, right? Like, obviously I like how simple the story is. I love the acting of the main character and Joaquin Phoenix. Like, those are like, I have no complaints, and obviously it's very beautiful. Like the ending where his slave friend is like, now we're all free. I will see you again, but not yet.
It was a really nice ending.
Yeah,
and that's why I pushed it to 4, because I mean, it's got moments like that are like pretty like powerful.
It is, and I obviously always prefer a very powerful, strong ending that like connects you to the movie.
Yeah.
So I think 4 out of 5 is reasonable. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
What we do in life echoes in eternity.
Well, that's our thoughts on Gladiator and Penny's first time watching it. If you want to see more Penny watches for the first time, make sure to subscribe, hit that bell icon for alerts, and we'll see you later. Bye.